This is Mike with Tag Roofing and Restoration. We are here at the Murphy residence on Lincoln Place in Urbana, Ohio. We are here to perform a brittleness repairability test. Insurance has agreed to pay for some spot repairs throughout this system. We are concerned with the structural integrity of these shingles being compromised while performing those repairs. Obviously, while doing any repair on a roofing system, there's several things that you want to keep in mind. The first thing is, are the shingles pliable enough? Because in essence, this entire area where you can see I've kind of got this marked right here, this entire area is going to need to be manipulated to replace this one shingle, because the nails that are holding this one shingle are actually up here in this shingle. So this whole shingle is going to have to be manipulated, as well as the one above that, to get this one out and to get a new shingle in there. So first off, again, are the shingles pliable enough whenever we manipulate those? Are they going to damage? As well as whenever we separate the seals from one shingle to the next, are you getting material transfer from the bottom of this shingle to the top of this shingle? And what I can do is I'll kind of show you that here in a second. Another thing is, kind of back with the pliability, does it crease, crack, tear, bend, break, anything associated with that while you're separating those seals and while you're manipulating that? You obviously want to keep in mind for the granular loss, which is what's going to create that crease or the crack or the tear across it. Somewhat kind of how this is what happens is the wind gets to blowing it and it separates and it creates that crease, and then they start to just break off and do what they do. The other thing that we like to keep in mind is the nails. Whenever you are removing one shingle and then putting another shingle back in, what kind of nails are you using? What nails were used beforehand? Are you able to find the exact same hole that you're supposed to be going in? There's several different issues whenever it comes to repairing shingles. And then the last thing is, are there compatible materials? Obviously you don't want to put mismatched shingle up here or something that is longer or shorter in size. Everything has to be compatible 100%. And these are, just a couple things that we like to keep in mind. So what I'm going to do is I am going to separate the seal on this shingle here. And then we're going to kind of simulate what happens. Oh, well, apparently it was already. So as you can see, a couple of these are already broken down. So again, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of simulate what happens, and you can kind of already see what I mean here about this material transfer. What happened is from one shingle to the next, this is this shingle, the material from this shingle have now transferred onto this, so it's not going to seal on its own again. But again, what you have to keep in mind is, in order to perform a successful repair, we are not intentionally trying to damage these, so I'm not lifting this up to the desired angle that it would need to be, because regardless where you're at, you have to be able to get a flush hammer or nail gun down in here. But again, we are not intentionally coming out here trying to damage anything. But again, even from just that, what you can see is it is starting, and this is just a light little rub here. What it's starting to do is it's starting to create this crease across the top of this shingle here, meaning that anytime that we go and try to repair one of these, and again, this is that material transfer we're looking at. Anytime we go and try and repair one of these shingles, what's going to happen is it's going to immediately crease, and it's going to create this crack across the top of it here, which you can very faintly see as it's starting to happen. And I did not manipulate that to the full degree that it would need to be. These shingles are non-repairable. No matter how many times we try to repair this, what's going to happen is it's going to create this crease across the top of it, and then that shingle is now damaged. So yes, you repaired this one, but now anything that was manipulated in that entire area is now likely to be damaged, which is a failed system. Obviously, the entire thing does need to be replaced. That is a failed brittleness test. And again, you can just kind of see the material transfer from one shingle to the next. Fail.